There's a quiet thrill in holding a coin that carries a story as intricate as the engravings on its surface, a piece of American history where precision meets a touch of serendipity. The 1995 U.S. quarter dollar is one such artifact, blending modern minting techniques with the timeless legacy of our nation's coinage. This coin emerged during a period of evolution in minting technology, when traditional craftsmanship began to intertwine with contemporary methods. In 1995, the U.S. Mint was perfecting the art of mass production while still honoring the rich heritage of its centuries-old practices, and this quarter stands as a tangible reminder of that transformative era. At its core, the 1995 quarter reflects a fascinating intersection of art and industry. It carries forward a design tradition that has been refined over decades, featuring the enduring portrait that has become synonymous with American coinage. Yet, unlike many of its peers, this quarter possesses a subtle quirk, a production anomaly that, to the untrained eye, might seem like a minor misalignment. However, among seasoned collectors, this slight die error is a coveted rarity. It transforms what might have been an everyday coin into a collectible treasure, appreciated not only for its design but also for the narrative of imperfection it encapsulates. Delving into its history, this coin was produced at a time when the mint was embracing new technological advancements that promised greater efficiency and detail. However, with innovation often comes the occasional unexpected outcome. In the case of the 1995 quarter, a limited mintage of error variants occurred. These coins, featuring a delicately off-center strike that slightly distorts the iconic portrait and inscriptions, became an accidental hallmark of rarity. Only a small number managed to slip through the rigorous quality controls of the mint, and today, they serve as prized examples of how minute deviations during production can elevate an otherwise standard issue into something extraordinary. Collectors cherish the 1995 quarter not just for its aesthetic appeal, but also for the intriguing backstory it offers. There's a particular charm in knowing that the coin you hold might be one of the very few that bear this production anomaly, a twist of fate in the minting process that was never intended but is now celebrated. In one memorable instance, an error variant of the 1995 quarter was discovered tucked away in an old bank safe deposit box. The coin, preserved in near-perfect condition, sparked excitement among collectors when it was later verified as an authentic misstrike. Its eventual sale at auction for a price significantly higher than standard issues underscored its unique value, capturing the imagination of collectors and historians alike. The market response to these rare specimens has been both steady and telling. Auction records reveal that coins in pristine, near-mint condition, particularly those with the distinctive misstrike, have fetched sums that far exceed their face value. It's not uncommon for a 1995 quarter in exceptional condition to attract bids that double or even triple what collectors might expect from a standard circulated coin. This surge in interest reflects a broader trend. As collectors increasingly seek tangible connections to the past, coins like these become symbols of both historical authenticity and the allure of rarity born from imperfection. Of course, the story of the 1995 quarter is as much about its condition as it is about its history. Coins that have never seen circulation, those that remain in mint state, are the crown jewels in any collection. Their unblemished surfaces, crisp edges, and the brilliance of their freshly struck details make them highly sought after. On the other hand, coins that have circulated, bearing the subtle marks of everyday handling, possess their own kind of charm. The slight abrasions and soft patina tell a tale of a coin that has traveled far, seen countless hands, and survived the passage of time. For many collectors, this journey adds an invaluable layer of character, even if it means a slightly lower market value compared to their mint state counterparts. Beyond the technical and market aspects, there's an almost poetic quality to the 1995 quarter. It's a reminder of how human error can sometimes create beauty, how a minor production mishap can capture the imagination of an entire community of enthusiasts. Stories circulate among collectors about that one elusive coin, its details carefully scrutinized under magnification, each imperfection celebrated as a badge of honor. The coin becomes more than just a piece of metal, it transforms into a narrative of craftsmanship, chance, and the ever-present human element in the art of minting. The evolution of coin collecting in the modern era has also brought new dimensions to appreciating such rarities. Advanced imaging techniques now allow collectors to examine every intricate detail of the coin, from the delicate contours of the portrait to the subtle variations in the die error. This high level of scrutiny not only confirms the authenticity of these coins but also deepens the appreciation for their unique features. The interplay of light on the finely struck surfaces and the barely perceptible deviations in design contribute to an enduring fascination, a small marvel that bridges the gap between meticulous industrial production and the unpredictable nature of creative imperfection. What makes the 1995 quarter particularly special is its dual identity. On one hand, it stands as a representative of the U.S. Mint's commitment to excellence and precision in coin production. On the other, it embodies the unexpected twists that remind us that even the most carefully orchestrated processes can yield surprises. For experienced collectors, this coin is a fine example of why the world of numismatics remains vibrant and full of hidden treasures. It encapsulates a period when the balance between tradition and innovation was in flux, capturing a moment in time that continues to resonate with those who appreciate both the art and the history of coinage. In every aspect, from its historical context to its modern-day market appeal, the 1995 quarter speaks to the seasoned collector's love for nuanced stories and rare finds. It invites you to examine not just the coin itself, but the entire journey it has undergone, from the precision of the mint's machinery to the serendipity of a small error that rendered it uniquely desirable. Holding one of these coins, you're reminded that even in an age of digital transactions and fleeting trends, there exists a tangible connection to history, a connection that endures in the form of a beautifully minted quarter. The legacy of the 1995 U.S. quarter dollar is one that continues to inspire and intrigue. It isn't merely about rarity or high auction prices, it's about the narrative woven into every groove and inscription. It's a conversation piece among collectors, a marker of a bygone era when every coin carried with it the weight of history and the possibility of a delightful anomaly. For those who appreciate the artistry behind coin production and the unexpected stories that emerge from the process, this quarter offers a rich tapestry of insights, blending the predictable with the wonderfully unpredictable. In reflecting on this coin, one comes away with a sense of wonder at the delicate dance between intention and chance, a dance that has immortalized the 1995 quarter as a treasured relic in the annals of American numismatics. It reminds us that even the smallest details, the slightest imperfections, can elevate an ordinary object into a collector's dream. As you consider the story and significance of the 1995 quarter, it becomes clear that each coin is more than just a remnant of the past, it's a living piece of history that continues to captivate, inspire, and reward those who recognize its true value. Now, if the 1995 quarter captured your attention with its subtle misstrike and the magic of imperfection, the 1996 U.S. quarter dollar turns the spotlight in a different direction, onto one of the most intriguing transitional moments in modern coinage. This coin doesn't just stand out because of a mint error or anomaly. It stands out because it was minted at the very doorstep of a new era. The following year, in 1997, plans were underway for the revolutionary 50-state quarters program, which would completely reshape how Americans viewed and collected their everyday pocket change. So the 1996 quarter marks the quiet close of a long-standing design era, almost like the calm before the numismatic storm. At first glance, the 1996 quarter may appear identical to its predecessors. It features the same enduring portrait of George Washington on the obverse, designed by John Flanagan in 1932, and the familiar eagle perched atop arrows and olive branches on the reverse. But it's that very consistency, in the face of looming change, that gives the 1996 issue its special charm. It's the last full year when this design reigned unchallenged, just before the U.S. Mint shifted gears and embarked on its bold new multi-year redesign project. So while this coin may not shout its importance with a dramatic error or rare material, collectors with a keen sense of context know exactly why it's worth paying attention to. What makes the 1996 quarter particularly noteworthy from a collector's perspective is its role in closing a chapter. This was the final full mintage year of the classic Washington quarter design before the multi-design program changed the public's relationship with quarters forever. Think about it, just 1 year later, everyone from school kids to seasoned collectors would be chasing down state-themed quarters in their change, and coin folders would become household items again. In that light, the 1996 quarter becomes a kind of bridge, connecting the traditional simplicity of the past to the dynamic, design-driven future of American coinage. But that's not to say this coin doesn't have its own rarities. The 1996 D quarter, minted in Denver, has surfaced in small numbers with double die obverse errors, particularly around the date and the word liberty. These double dies aren't as dramatic or well-known as some earlier examples from the 50s or 60s, but they are nonetheless highly prized among collectors who specialize in modern varieties. What makes these errors so appealing is how subtle they are. You often need magnification to spot them, which turns each search into a satisfying treasure hunt. When it comes to value, most 1996 quarters are still relatively easy to find in circulation or in circulated rolls from banks. But like most coins, condition is everything. A heavily worn 1996 quarter might only be worth face value, but a high-grade uncirculated example, especially one graded MS-67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, can fetch between $30 to $100 or more, depending on demand. And those rare double die varieties? A verified 1996 D double die in mint state condition can easily cross the $250 mark, and some have sold for higher when demand peaks. Not bad for a coin that likely started out as spare change in someone's car cup holder. Now let's talk about the proof issues, because that's where things get even more interesting. The US Mint released both clad and silver proof sets in 1996, and the silver proof quarters, struck in 90% silver, are especially sought after. These proofs, with their mirror-like fields and razor-sharp details, elevate the design to another level entirely. If you've ever held a 1996 silver proof quarter under proper lighting, you'll know exactly what I mean. Every contour pops. Every texture feels intentional. And while the silver proofs were never released into circulation, they've become an essential part of any serious Washington quarter collection. There's a great anecdote from a collector who stumbled across a pristine 1996 silver proof quarter mixed in with a junk silver lot at a local coin show, completely overlooked by the dealer. It was still housed in its original mint case and ended up grading at PR70 Deep Cameo, one of the highest possible designations. That coin later sold for nearly $400. Moments like that are part of what keeps longtime collectors engaged, the possibility that a hidden gem might be waiting in the most unexpected places. From a market perspective, the value spread on 1996 quarters is heavily condition dependent. Circulated examples are everywhere, and even uncirculated ones in MS-60 to MS-65 range don't typically command huge premiums. But once you get into MS-67 or higher territory, especially for well-struck coins with full details, the value jumps significantly. And for proofs, the difference between a PR69 and a PR70 can be hundreds of dollars. It's that fine margin of perfection that makes all the difference, and experienced collectors know exactly how to chase those flawless examples. What's particularly rewarding about the 1996 quarter is how it invites collectors to appreciate the broader historical context. It doesn't rely on flashy errors or exotic materials to make its case. Instead, it draws attention through its timing, serving as the last quiet step before a transformative moment in American numismatics. It's a coin that feels unassuming until you realize just how much weight it carries in the timeline of U.S. coinage. That's the beauty of coins like the 1996 quarter. They're more than just collectible objects, they're markers of change. They tell you what came before, what was ending, and what was about to begin. And in a hobby where timing and narrative are just as important as rarity and condition, that kind of historical weight adds real value. For collectors who care not just about coins but about the story those coins tell, the 1996 quarter is a must-have. Whether you're drawn to it for its final year status, for the chase of a high-grade example, or for the understated charm of its proof editions, the 1996 quarter delivers. It's the kind of coin that rewards both the veteran collector with years of experience and the casual enthusiast who just knows there's something important about this simple, often overlooked piece of pocket change. So when you line up your Washington quarters and get to the 1996 slot, take a moment. That little coin right there. It's the end of an era. And it deserves every bit of recognition you can give it.